Hi, welcome back to another episode of Your Desert Life. I'm Stephanie Turrentine, a licensed full-time realtor here in beautiful Palm Springs, California. Have you ever thought about how emotional it might be to sell a home? I have had quite a few sellers that have had a hard time letting go and moving on. That is why I thought this topic might come in handy today. I'd like to share a few stories. One of my sellers lost his job and his family had to move out of state in order that he could secure a new position. The home that they were selling, they had only lived in as a family for about 2 years and they thought it was their forever home. The 2 years that they lived there were already so full of memories. Moving out of state was hard enough, but letting go of the memories was even harder. Another story, I had a seller realize that halfway through the escrow process, she loved her home and no other home was going to compare to hers and that she really didn't want to move. That was an emotional roller coaster for everyone, but her heart was definitely connected to her home and unfortunately they backed out of escrow. Lastly, I had another seller that was selling her parents' home after they had passed away. She was brought home from the hospital as a baby in that home. She had so many memories like cartwheeling down the sidewalk, running in the orange groves near her home. She remembers her father working out in the garage. That was an extremely emotional sale. I could feel her tension and I had to be very mindful of the connection she had with that house. When selling a family home, there are many emotional moments for the seller. There is the heartbreak of saying goodbye to a home, which holds so many great memories. I cried the day I said goodbye to what I thought was my forever home. Birthday parties, Christmas, Thanksgiving, remodels, raising kids, the heartache and the laughs that were created in the home, losing pets. Emotional stress and the inability to deal with it properly can hinder the process and in the end create a not so ideal result. I want to make sure that you're handling the loss of a home properly and that you feel supported in your decision. Here are some tips that can really help you prepare for the sale and deal with some of the stress and emotions during the selling process. Step number 1, start the process early. The earlier you start preparing your house to be sold, the easier it will be when the day comes to move out. Mentally come to grips with the reality that you're moving, whatever the reason be. Face it. Focus on your why for moving. Step number 2, focus your emotions on your next home. It is so much easier to focus on positive emotions going into your new home than to dwell on the loss of your current home. Remember, those memories that you have in your home will always be with you. So prepare yourself for the great memories that are going to be made in your new home. Remember, it's the people that hold memories, not places. Number 3, spend some time fixing up the little things. Along with the fixing of the little things around the house, a few things that maybe need to be spruced up, try changing parts of the house that you have an emotional connection to. That can be very helpful. If you had an attachment to a paint color that you used in the dining room, change it. It will allow for a more therapeutic moving out. Step number 4, just get out of the house. Instead of spending time around the house wallowing about your move, get out and explore some of the areas around your new home if you can. For some, the move is far, so this might not be easy, but just getting out of your house is going to help with the emotional toll of selling your family home. When you get out and you do new activities together and you stay busy, there is really a lot less time to overthink things. Step number 5, put yourself in the buyer's shoes. When you think about the move, imagine the new buyer and their excitement of a new home. Remember that they will be able to make their own memories and you are allowing them a place to do that. Think of your own standards and make sure that your home is in tip-top shape for them when they move in. When we were moving, it helped for us to take a drive out here to Palm Springs, and we stayed for a day or a weekend. We got acquainted with our new city and processed what it was going to be like as a new resident. That might be harder to do, of course, if you are moving out of state, but if you're staying somewhat local, that does help. Also, I focused on our buyers. They were a newlywed couple and they were just starting out. They were so excited to have their own pool and could not wait to host family parties. They were really so sweet, and it helped for me to focus my energies on what buying our home would do for them. After all, we made the decision and we had fun while the house was ours. It was time to let go. Lastly, keep in mind, selling is not forgetting. Some people think that selling their homes means that they have to forget everything that they lived while being in that home. You just need to remember that you're moving on to a new place, but your memories are moving on too. You're simply selling the place where your memories took place. Everything else comes with you. What's in here comes with you. The house will always hold a special place in your heart, even if you stop owning it. Feel free to comment below if you are having a hard time or if you've had a hard time moving on. Trust me, I've been there and I can totally relate. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next week for another episode of Your Desert Life. Take care.